So it's going to feel really weird having nothing in my hands if I perform something. This is the first time I've ever performed a poem. Yep, that's it, that's the whole sentence. By cheering, has anybody ever had their heart broken?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. This one is about being 14, and it's something that really happened, so it's kind of personal and terrifying to perform. And yeah, here we go. It's called I Knew This Girl Once. I knew this girl once, and in our young teens, we wrote a book listing our hopes and our dreams, or things that we'd done, or things that we'd seen. Colours and pictures that just gleamed through the everlasting pages of these words we created. Yet, the whole time we wrote, I was more than frustrated. Because I was honest, in every sentence I jotted in these pages, of heartache, or mishaps, or puberty stages, or feeling like I wasn't quite like the other young people surrounding my life. Feeling like a bit of an outcast, because I was in love with the girl I wrote the book with. So it wasn't enough for me when she wrote about grades, or her hair, or about bands, about clothes, and I tried to care about these problems her friends had, but I think I was just sad, because I left all these hidden messages, all these subtle hints that would solve all her problems. But since she was dating the boy from the school opposite mine, she knew nothing about my anagrams, acrostics, or rhymes. And this boy, he was a pro at hiding emotion, and though his devotion to her was true, he was manic-depressive, bipolar, aggressive, and didn't hesitate to throw a punch at the girl that I knew. So I would say, please, just leave him. And she'd say no. And I'd question, why? Because if I leave, then he's threatened to die. See, he claimed he'd overdose, or drown, or jump off a cliff, so she was stuck in this blackmailed relationship. So I just had to save her, find my armour and fast. I'd protect her and I'd keep her safe in my arms. Because by now, a whole year had passed, and this love was still so pure, I could feel it roaring in my heart. So I took this final attempt and went right back to the start. So I ran against sea air, the spray and the sand with this torn and abandoned book in my hand. A book that listed our hopes and our dreams, or things that we'd done, or things that we'd seen, and I sprinted like I'd never sprinted before, in hopes to remind her of this intense love for me that just must be inside her. Because gender didn't matter. That meant nothing to me. I loved her regardless of her sexuality, and I guess that was the problem in the end. That I was just this best friend who had stumbled into these feelings that she couldn't comprehend. So she opened the window when I got to her house, and I held up these pages and I loudly announced, "This is what you're about to throw away! Your boyfriend is crazy and it is killing me to stay. And you were happy once. We would have been amazing together, because I'm in love with you!" And then she closed the window. So I waited in the dark of the night to resolve the fight, but she never came out. And it was all wishful thinking that we could have been together. And yeah, the feelings were intense, and to this day, it never made sense why she could love someone like him over me. So when I think back to the sea where I ran to proclaim all I had, armed with this scrapbook covered in sand, it was a book that listed our hopes and our dreams, but it was written all about her and not about me.